the family of five, let's say, going out to a movie theater, you're dropping $50 to $60 just on tickets, going to get popcorn and a few candy bars and some Cokes, and you're up to $75 easily. So it's really, and $75, that pays for like 10 months of Netflix.
The S&P 500 closed at an all-time high today.
All right, hi everyone. Welcome to Money Always Talks. Today we're going to be looking at the movie theater business, just how COVID affected it, and whether or not there really is a future for all of us to get together in one place and enjoy movies anymore. Warner Brothers, they announced that all their movies for 2021 are going to both go into theaters and onto their streaming service, HBO Max. If you're in the movie theater business, if you're an executive at AMC or something like that, is this just the beginning of the end?
Well, we're well into a few acts into the end. A few years ago, just AMC, Entertainment Holdings, back in 2017, it was a $30 stock. It's now trading for around $3.25. So the decline in movies, like a lot of things related to COVID, the big victims of COVID were industries and companies that were already in the crosshairs of fundamental change that was going on well before the pandemic hit. Most of the studios, like Disney and Warner Brothers, they've been pumping up their own streaming services. And of course, Netflix has been doing the streaming now for over a decade. And then, of course, people have been buying better and better sound systems and larger TVs to recreate the cinematic experience inside of the home. So right now, it's just a game of survival for the movie theater operators who are out there. AMC is in a big time cash crunch. They needed money to get them through to 2021.
Do you think then that the only ace up the sleeve for the AMCs, the Cinemarks, all these big corporate theater companies, are they basically banking on the belief that we still love to watch movies together at once in a big crowd and laugh and holler and throw popcorn in the air? Like, is that basically what they're banking their survival on, that one day we're going to want that?
Holler too loud because I don't want any COVIDs, in the air. But yes, that is their ace in the hole, if you want to call it that. I don't know if it's an ace. It's more like maybe a 5 or a 6 card in the hole. Because, as I said, first of all, for several years now, you've had a deterioration of box office revenue. In fact, 2002 was the high water mark. They sold about 1.6 billion tickets that year. They're down to 1.2 billion, and that was in 2019. AMC's revenue in 2019 was about $5.5 billion. Now it's less than 1/4 of that at about $1.2 billion. Just for a couple of months, they were able to sell tickets in the early part of the year. So that really is all they have going for them, the hope that people do want to watch movies in a big, in the cinematic environment with people around them. And sure, there's always probably going to be a role for the cinema. There will be dates, there will be kids' birthday parties and things like that. But, the family of five, let's say, going out to a movie theater, you're dropping $50 to $60 just on tickets, going to get popcorn and a few candy bars and some Cokes, and you're up to $75 easily. So it's really, and $75, that pays for like 10 months of Netflix.
How much bigger have Netflix, Hulu, etc., the ones that are public on the stock market, how have their performances been? I imagine it's through the roof.
AMC has gone from $30 to $3 in 3 years. Since early 2017, the same time frame, Netflix has tripled in price, up about 295%. And then over the past 10 years, Netflix is up 1,800%. So it's not that people hate entertainment or hate movies. They just don't like paying the high prices of going to the movies at the local mall and then eating the food there. That's a lot more expensive than the microwave popcorn you could buy at the supermarket.
There was an op-ed that I read before our talk. It was written by Denis Villeneuve, legendary director of like Blade Runner 2049 and Sicario, etc. And he said that he saw the Warner Brothers HBO Max deal as like basically AT&T trying to throw something to the lions to keep itself financially viable into 2021, which he saw as like basically spitting on cinema, right, and the art of filmmaking. And his argument was that we can't make these huge blockbuster high level films without the promise of some kind of theater revenue and people coming in to see it to have that big experience. Do you think there is a financial argument there, or is that more of a artist's argument?
I mean, you've got Netflix. You've seen some good things on there. They've got fantastic series. I mean, who didn't watch Ozark and stream it until the last one and find, trying to figure out what was going on? Or there have been a lot of, and HBO recently with The Undoing. These were great cinematic experiences. So I don't really buy the idea that you can't make great movies or blockbuster movies. Netflix, I forgot exactly how many nominations they got last go around with the Academy Awards and the Golden Globes, but for a fairly new studio, it was tremendous.
Other countries have obviously done better than we have in terms of keeping their numbers lower. Therefore, their theaters have started to come back. Do you foresee a situation where we see the example in other countries, like say New Zealand, or the Europeans get things more under control, that we're like, hey, we want to go do that too? I kind of remember how fun that was.
I think there's probably a little bit of that nostalgia that's still bottled up out there for people. And you have to be careful when you talk in too stark of black and white terms about, oh, the glory days are gone and they're never coming back, because it's really hard for things to change completely. And but there's no doubt that theaters won't be the mainstay that they were in the later half, the late stages of the 20th century or early 21st century. Maybe we will see an uptick once all the vaccines are out there and everybody's inoculated and not passing the virus around. But just for the reasons of cost and demand, people are demanding that Netflix and other streaming services have quality movies on tap for them. And so far they have.
All right, let's go over what we learned. So is there a future for the movie theater business? Well, it seems we won't exactly return to the heyday of what it was in the before times. Theaters were already having challenges in bringing people out because of high ticket and food prices, and there's so much to watch on streaming at home. COVID just accelerated this decline. To put it in perspective, AMC's revenue last year was $5.5 billion. This year, it was $1.2 billion. For movie theater companies, their survival largely lies in the faith that humans still love to watch movies together with a big screen and sound system, and are willing to pay extra for that experience. There's also debate over whether or not going directly to streaming ultimately lessens the quality and production capability of movies at the highest level. There's an argument that without the full theater experience and the revenues that come with it, films of the highest caliber cannot be made. However, the flip side is that from a financial perspective, we are doing just fine with what is made available to us from streaming, and that might be the answer in a post-COVID world. Thanks for watching this episode of Money Always Talks. We'll be back soon to figure out what else money is trying to tell us.